Hello everyone, my name is Chantel Batetta. My placement is at the Wiley Center for Children, Youth, and Families. And just as a refresher, I have a meso placement, which means I'm working macro and micro. And as far as my macro side, I wanted to focus on my micro side today. I want to talk about confidentiality because I help co-facilitate a substance abuse group for teenagers. And so we try and do presentations, so we try and get guest speakers and have them do presentations for our substance abuse kids. So it's not so much, here's material, read the material, and we'll go through it kind of thing. We want to be more interactive, more of a learning process, not just about substance abuse, but about life skills and how substance abuse can affect their everyday life. So we usually don't invite parents to come into the group because obviously we ask the kids, have you been sober this week? Have you used recently? What is your drug of choice? And sometimes kids aren't honest with their parents, so we don't want for parents to learn information that the kids aren't willing to tell them. So a couple weeks ago, we actually had a district attorney come in and she did a presentation, but she actually wanted parent participation. So I was actually co-facilitating with somebody else, somebody different than our normal facilitator. So it was kind of like, okay. So we allowed the parents to come in, but we had to rearrange what we were going to do. So usually in our check-in, we ask, have you been sober this week? And obviously we can't have the parents in the room when we're asking, have you been sober this week or have you not used drugs? So there was that. And then we also had a small problem because we have some group home kids that were in our substance abuse group. And per the rules of the group home, they don't want the kids talking about past crimes they've committed. So the district attorney wanted to talk about the kids' crimes and kind of where they're at in life, how their crimes will affect them in life, and it was kind of like, oh wait, we can't talk about that. We can't talk about that. So that was kind of like a bump in the road. And then this week, we actually started something a little bit new, and it also pertains to confidentiality because everything that stays in the group everything that's said in the group needs to stay in the group. There we go. We started doing like an open forum session or kind of like a testimony section in our group, and we pick a kid every week, a new kid every week, and we ask them to kind of share why they're in substance abuse group and how they led to that point and what their background story is. And so this week we had a kid share about past drug use. So he had multiple drugs that he tried. He shared about his family dynamics. He talked about abandonment. He talked about domestic violence and his encounters with law enforcement. So again, it's huge confidentiality. We have to keep this client's information confidential, so not allowing parents in the room is a huge thing. In order to help kind of with the confidentiality, we have a noisemaker that we keep outside the door. There's just a couple of adults in the room. We don't ever discuss outside of us in the mental health department what happens in substance abuse group. And then they can also, of course, share with the therapist about whatever extra information they want to do with an individual, because they have to do an individual once a month. So just going back to how do we protect the kids' confidentiality, and so one of the ways we do that is we keep the staff for the group home kids or the parents for the kids that aren't group home either in the lobby or in a separate room so they're not hearing what the kids are saying. With the exception of our kids that are on parole or informal probation, we have them sign a letter of release so we can contact their probation officer because they need to know if the kid reports that they were smoking, so that way they know, hey, are they violating probation? That's our only exception. But so my question to the class would be, how does your whatever program you're working in, how does their policy of confidentiality protect the clients. Have a great night, everyone.